Alright, hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and my name is Canon1, and today I'm going to show you guys how I made my track stuck in my head. So the track is a Riddim track, and it was released on my birthday, which is on the 18th November, as a birthday special. So today I'm gonna walk you guys through on how I made the track, as well as how I made Riddim in general. So I have a list here that I'm gonna walk you guys on how, on separate part. So we're gonna first talk about the drums, and then the bass, the lead, the chorus, and finally the effects and details. Well, if you guys haven't heard the track yet, the track is out now on every single platform, so go over there and stream the track right now. I usually start my tracks by making the drop first, because the drop is, the most energetic part of the whole song. So by getting that part done, which, you are already 60% on your way to making a good track. First, let's start off with the drums. So I'm gonna show you guys the drums here. So that's just standard rhythm drums, which is, a kick and a clap, and cymbals 4x4 underneath it, and I sidechain the cymbals as well. I do not process the kick a lot because the kick itself sounds perfect already, but on the clap, I do boost it a little bit on the high end, and add in an OTT and a stir enhancer, just so that the clap punches through the mix a little bit, and punches through all of these high end synth at the top. So you will see the kick and the clap just clash on each other like that and punch through the mix, like so powerful. All these are just Leotrix samples, Leotrix kick, Leotrix clap, Leotrix hat, and a cymatic cymbals loop, which sound like this. All right, that's pretty much the whole drop. The whole drums, and I do have a second fill here, which is a kick at the beginning. Yeah, it's just something like that, and I always add in some of these small effects details here, just so that the drums doesn't sound boring. I mean, that's pretty much about the drums. I mean, it's just symbols like that. All right, so next up, we're going to talk about the bass. So this is going to be the most important part of every single Riddim drop, because like the bass is what you feel, is the tonal heavy of the whole drop, which drives throughout the whole song. So alright, so I have 4 different layers here for you guys to see. So first of all, I'm going to start with the easiest one. Is the sub bass. I mean, this sub is just an 3x oscillator. Where is it? Where is it? Where are you? All right, there it is. So this is the sub bass, which is 3 silent waves, and I pitch it down all the way like down to 0. I add in a fruity shaper just to make it heavy, and I cut legit every single high end until 130, so that these will only fill the lows only. We got the mid bass, which is a SERUM patch. It's just a tube distorted bass, and in here we have a little bit of hyper and dimension, a distortion, a compressor, and an EQ, to clean up the high end, just so that the frequency doesn't clash with each other. And in the mixer, I add in just some simple EQ, boost the mid a little bit, and I just cut off some lows, and the highs, just leave the mids there, just so that we can feel the pumpingness. All right, next up we got the top bass. This is just a Cashmere preset. I mean, this preset is very gritty. You can get this on his volume 1 preset pack. For the best, just download on Splice. Just support the artist. I mean, yeah, I have no idea. I add in a very heavy OTT, and I cut the 300 Hz just so that this patch doesn't get muddy, and making the mid frequencies messy. And I cut here like from around 350 Hertz, and some of the high ends here, just so that we still have spaces for the chorus and the lead. And and we have the final top bass layer, which is very short, very tonal, just a bass sample. Symbol OTT, some cleanup with an EQ, and cutting off some annoying frequencies here. Alright, so that's pretty much the whole bass. Now we're moving on to the lead, and this is like the main element that you will hear throughout the whole drop. Now, how I make this lead exactly? It's actually pretty simple. It's just a sine wave with chords pitch. How I got this to this final sound, the answer is just lots of processing. So you'll see how like I have loads of EQs, loads of OTTs, loads of delays, reverb, and distortion. So I will turn these off just to show you guys the initial sounds. Yeah, that's just the that's just the initial sound before I add in some of these effects. I mean, it does have a compressor, a distortion, and a hyperdimension on the effects chain in SERUM, but this is still not enough. We still need a lot more to actually achieve the final sounds. Slowly show you guys. All right, so in this first EQ, I boost the 600 hertz and the 3 kilohertz up, and I boost some of the high ends up a little bit just so that we can get the clarities on. And next I have a fast disc, which is a stocks FL distortion plugin. Yeah, which didn't distort the crap out of it. And after that is 2 OTTs, and one of them is like up all the way up to like 100%, and one of them is like 68%, just so that we can compress the lead down a little bit. So yeah, like you can already feel the heaviness, and also it's getting compressed, so it's not that loud. Next we have a delays here. I mean, it's not too much. It's just a small delay just to create some space, and follow that is a reverb. Yeah, which is being controlled by automations here, and it's very important that you guys draw these automation, because if you guys don't, the reverb will just go like all the way like throughout the leads, and it was like sounds so messy in the final mix. How it sounds. Yeah, it sounds very messy. All right, so it's very important for you guys to draw these automation here, just so that you guys will only have it on when the lead stops playing. Another OTT after the reverb, just so that we can get that like the tail, like that very last tail compressed. All right, it sounds nearly perfect, but it still sounds messy here in the low frequency, because we haven't cut any of them yet. And after all of those distortion and compression, the low ends will be completely boosted up. So what I did here is that I cut it like to 250, somewhere like that. Yeah, it sounds a lot cleaner here, and I also remove some of the 300 hertz here away, just so to make it cleaner. Alright, and I did fruity balance. I mean, like this last fruity balance here, just so that I can cut off the volume when the leads finish play, some of the parts here, which the lead's supposed to stop. Next, I will show you guys the chord. Let me open these up. By the sound of it, you can already tell it's just some basic saw chords. But to be more specific, this is the main layer. This is just like a 16 voices saw chord being like detuned. Like you can find this. I mean, you can make this yourself in SERUM, so this is not like that complicated like anywhere. There's just slap in the compressor on the SERUM patch. Yeah. So I have another layer here just so the chord is sounds full, which is a very detuned around 0.05. Oscillator B is around 0.10 with other waveform, just so that the chord doesn't sound dull. And yeah, like you will achieve lots of other result by using multiple waveform. I mean, I found it best using like basic shapes waveform. Actually, I just it sounds good to me, so I just use it. And very important for you guys to cut to 500 hertz, because like you will remove the mid and the lows as well. I cut like 600 hertz here also, and the very sharp high end here for the lead to have the space to play on, and I add a stereo enhancer just so the chords can be wider, a reverb also, an OTT to glue all those two chords together, and yeah, these are just my core foundation. Now if you guys hear the chords, you will find these chiptune sounds. Now, where does that come from? It's coming from this layer. Now, to achieve the sounds, actually, it's not that hard. It's very basic. It's just a 3x oscillator. All right, it's just a 3x oscillator. Like, you can copy these settings, of course, using these waveforms. I have no idea how to call it, but this is like square saws, and I have no idea how to call this waveform. You go over here and you select this arpeggiator option. You can mess around with time, and especially like this will affect how fast your arp will run. So yeah, like by pulling this all the way down, it sounds a lot faster. Yeah, it's just like a nice texture to the chord, just so that your chord sounds a lot more melodic. Next up, we will move on to the effects and details. All right, so effects and details, they may sound small, but they are actually the part where it will fills up the emptiness in the background. All right, I will show you guys right now. Yeah, so like that will pretty much just fills every single empty spaces like in the background. So what I have here is the vocal sample, which I have in the track being chopped up, which speaks out the theme of the whole song. Like that's how I work with these vocal samples. How I process this layer. First of all, I add a stereo enhancer for the vocals to be wider. I add in a distortion because the initial sample sounds like this. Yeah, like having a distortion here is boost up some of that high end, which is very good. And I add in a reverb so that I can duck the vocal samples, very drowned. And yeah, an OTT here. Also like cut off the 600 and the very sharp high end here also. And I also clean up the very low mid frequencies and some of these sharp high frequencies here. And the interesting part about this is that I use a fruity balance as a LFO tool. I mean, just a small LFO tool, just so that the vocal will sound very future bassy. So like yeah, you can see, like you can hear it here. Yeah, like without it, it would sound like this. Like the decay will be long as freak, and I don't like it. It's that I add in a volume automation, and I just just cut it off the decay and just let it play along with the chords. These details here is just there to fill out very high frequencies, just so that the sound, it will sound more lasery, more metallic-y. So yeah, this is like a Leotrix effects. I'm not so sure if this is a loop or not, but yeah, I just cut off some of these fractures up. Yeah, it just fills them up. And this is a very classic, just a laser playing alongside the leads. And a crowd sample, back in 2013 dubstep. Very subtle in the background, nothing special, and some pads here. Yeah, a Leotrix pad and a Virtual. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Alright, took us fucking 3 hours to log in the splice, but now here we are. I will find this vocal sample here. Whoops. Okay, your library. Okay, so this is the vocal sample. Yeah, that's from a hyperpop sample pack, but the song that they were referring to was in chiptune house or something, and I just spotted that he not only used this one, but he used like another sample from this pack also. So those are not from his original samples. All right, so we are cool with this. If you guys enjoy this video or having some more question about Future Riddim, feel free to ask me under the comment section, and also check out my other songs such as my Stay remix or my Falling track, which being released before Stuck in My Head. I will be back with more rhythms and more Future Riddim stuff, so see you guys next time. Peace.